Hey guys, I'm Mr. Mills, and today we're going to be solving equations. Now, like I have said many times before, solving equations is definitely the most important concept that you will learn in algebra. So you're going to have to do it both this year and definitely all of next year, okay? And so this is something we've spent a lot of time on this year, and we will continue to spend a lot of time during this e-learning for at least the next week and possibly thereafter. Okay, and so I have a few examples of solving equations. We haven't solved equations like this since sometime first semester, and the reason I say like this is because these equations are going to involve a lot of orders of operations in there, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Right, so I'm going to have to use my my knowledge of those orders of operation and also just general equation solving, trying to get the variable by itself on one side, right? So x equals a number or w equals a number, whatever it may be, okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and start with this one over here. And maybe it would be helpful if, before I did anything, I wrote out my orders of operation again. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, okay? So I have this thing, 7 plus x minus this entire quantity, 3 plus 32 divided by 8, and then that equals 3, right? So I'm trying to get x right here completely by itself, not next to any other numbers, just x equals a number, something like that, okay? So I'm going to try to simplify this thing using PEMDAS as much as I possibly can. So let's go ahead, and I have this giant parenthesis here, this 3 plus 32 divided by 8. I have that entire thing first. So let's go ahead and simplify this parenthesis as much as I can. Okay, and I'll try to show all of my work. So first, within this parenthesis, I have addition here, and I have division here. Okay, so what should I do first, addition or division? Well, division comes just before addition. So I'm going to go ahead and do my division first. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite everything, except now I'm going to do 32 divided by 8 is 4. 8 goes into 32 4 times. Okay, and then I still have a parenthesis there, so I can still simplify my parenthesis. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify this guy here. So I still have 7 plus x minus, and 3 plus 4 is 7. And that equals 3. Right? And now this is nice because I just have this minus 7 right here. I really don't need those parentheses, so I'm just going to rewrite this without any parentheses in there. Right? So I have 7 plus x minus 7 equals 3. Now we're really close to getting x by itself, so this is really nice. So now I have some addition and subtraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to simplify these two terms over here. I have a 7 and a minus 7. So I can simplify this 7 and a minus 7. I can combine them together because I know that 7 minus 7 is just 0, right? So this is like 0 plus x equals 3. Okay, and then that 0 doesn't really do anything for me in the problem. So I'm just going to ignore that 0, and I just have x equals 3, and that is my final answer. Keep in mind, if you wanted to, on this step, I just simplified my 7 and minus 7 to get me 0, so that was nice. I suppose if I wanted to, I could have moved both the 7 and the minus 7 over to the other side, and that's something we'll have to do, something like that over there. Either way would have worked. It doesn't matter. It's your personal preference. Okay, so this is one equation. There wasn't really a whole lot to do other than the orders of operations, right? I didn't really have to move anything over. So now I'll show us an example of when I'm going to have to move another number over to the other side. Okay, so I have this 4 minus 2 squared plus 5, and that's all in a quantity. It's all a parenthesis, right? And it's times w, and it equals 25. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with my orders of operation here, and I'm going to try to simplify whatever's inside this parenthesis as much as I possibly can. Okay, so within that parenthesis, I have a subtraction, an exponent, and an addition in there. Okay, so within that, I have exponent, addition, and subtraction. I'm going to do my exponent first. Okay, so I am going to simplify that 2 squared. So I still got my 4 minus, and then 2 squared is 4. Right, so 4 minus 4, and then plus 5, and then times w, and that equals 25. Okay? And now I'm still within the parentheses, right? And the most, I should say, the strangest thing about working with just addition and subtraction, or maybe sometimes you might have just multiplication and division, is whenever you just have addition and subtraction and you're trying to simplify addition and subtraction, you should just work from left to right, right? It doesn't really matter which one you do first. You should just go from left to right. And that's probably the most confusing component of the orders of operation. That's what a lot of people get kind of tricked on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go from 4 minus 4 plus 5, just from left to right. Okay. So 4 minus 4 plus 5, well, 4 minus 4 is 0, and then plus 5. I still got that W out there. Okay, and then 0 plus 5 is 5, and then I still got my W. Okay, and then my last step, and this is what's a little different from the previous problem, is, hey, now I have to get that W by itself, because W is an introvert, right? It doesn't like to talk to anybody else. So how do I undo this 5 times W? How do I undo that multiplication of 5? We'll try to think, what's the opposite of multiplying something? And the answer is dividing by something, right? So I want to divide by 5. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 5. And when I do that, these two 5s are going to reduce out of the equation, leaving me with just W, and that equals, well, what's 25 divided by 5? That is 5. Okay. And so we can all agree that this final answer is much, much simpler than this equation up at the top. Okay. Like I said, solving equations in algebra is the biggest concept that you need to understand. It's the foundation of all of algebra, I would argue, for the most part at least. And so I hope this helps you for the next couple days and for the rest of this year and next year as well. Thank you.